Welcome to the Dermatology Studio with Dr. Yusra Ayaz.
Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into one of the most common things you'll see in infants, the infantile hemangioma. You've probably heard it called a strawberry mark. Now, most of these are totally harmless and just fade away, but some can be a sign that something more serious is going on. So the big question is, how do you know the difference? Well, let's get into it. So, let's start with the most common story, the one we love to see. A little red mark pops up on a baby's skin. It might get a bit bigger for a few months, and then, almost like magic, it starts this slow-motion disappearing act. That's called spontaneous regression, and for most families, that's it. That's the whole story. But what happens when that's not the end of the story? All right, here's our game plan. First, we're going to trace the natural journey of a typical hemangioma. Then, we'll get into the really important stuff, the red flags that tell you it's time to act. We'll look at the modern treatment playbook, and we'll do a deep dive on the #1 medication they use. And of course, we'll wrap it all up with a quick review of everything you absolutely need to know. Okay, so to really understand when we need to worry, we first have to know what's normal, right? So, what does a typical, uncomplicated hemangioma journey look like from start to finish? Let's break that down. Here's the great news. For most babies, the outlook is fantastic, even without doing a single thing. It doesn't matter if it's a tiny little dot or even a pretty big one, as long as it's not getting in the way of a key function like seeing or eating or causing a big cosmetic issue. The best plan is often just to wait and watch. So at what point does that watchful waiting approach flip to, okay, it's time to act? The whole key is knowing how to spot the trouble signs. Let's look at the specific complications that can turn a harmless little birthmark into a really serious concern that needs medical attention. The most common complication, by a long shot, is something called ulceration. This is when that delicate skin over the hemangioma just breaks down and it creates a painful open sore. And you can just imagine how distressing that is for the baby. And it can also lead to nasty infections and scarring. And this isn't some super rare thing either. It can happen in up to 1 in 5 cases. Usually right when the hemangioma is growing at its fastest, around 4 to 6 months old. The risk is way higher for big ones, especially in areas that get a lot of friction and moisture. Think about a baby's neck folds, the diaper area, or right on the lips. And the tough part is, it pretty much always leaves a permanent scar behind. Another huge concern is the risk of permanent disfigurement. Now, of course, the size of the hemangioma matters, but you know what can matter even more? Its location. Where it is can have a massive impact on a child's appearance and, down the road, their self-esteem. It's no surprise that hemangiomas right in the middle of the face, especially around the nose and lips, are the most worrisome. And here's a really critical point. Even a small hemangioma can cause permanent distortion if it has what's called a deep dermal component. That means it's not just on the surface, it goes deep down into the skin and can actually pull and change the shape of the tissues underneath. But okay, this is where things get really urgent. It's when a hemangioma starts messing with a child's ability to see or to breathe or even to eat. At that point, it's not just a cosmetic issue anymore. It's a serious medical problem that needs immediate attention. A hemangioma near the eye is the classic example we worry about. It can physically block a child's vision, or even worse, it can put pressure on the eyeball itself, literally changing its shape. That can cause astigmatism and a condition called amblyopia. You might know it as lazy eye. And if it's not treated quickly, it can cause permanent vision loss. In the same way, hemangiomas in the airway can make breathing difficult, and ones on the lips can make it hard for a baby to feed properly. You know, sometimes what you see on the skin is just the tip of the iceberg. A hemangioma can be a clue to a problem that's happening deeper inside the body. Certain patterns and locations act like giant warning signs, pointing to underlying conditions that we need to investigate right away. This checklist is absolutely critical for doctors. For instance, a big hemangioma on the face might signal something called face syndrome, which is a rare condition that affects the brain and heart. See one in the beard area? That's an immediate red flag. You have to check the airway. And what if a baby has multiple little strawberry marks all over? That could mean there are also hemangiomas inside on the liver, which means you need to get an ultrasound to check. Each of these is like a critical clue. Okay, so now that we know what to look for, all the complications and the red flags, what do we actually do about it? How do we treat these high-risk hemangiomas? Let's open up the modern treatment playbook and take a look. These days, there are 2 main go-to treatments. For any of the serious cases, we're talking the ones that are disfiguring, threatening of function, or have ulcerated, the absolute gold standard is a medicine called oral propranolol. Now, for the smaller, thinner, more surface-level hemangiomas, a topical gel called Timolol can work wonders. Of course, there are other tools in the toolbox. Lasers are great for treating a stubborn ulceration, or for cleaning up any leftover redness after the hemangioma has mostly faded. Surgery is usually saved for correcting any fatty tissue or distortion that's left behind. And other powerful medicines like steroids, they're mostly just used now if a child has a specific medical reason they can't take propranolol. So, since propranolol is such a game changer, it's really important to understand how it's used. This is a powerful medication. It was originally for blood pressure, so there's a very strict protocol that doctors follow to make sure it's used safely and effectively in these little babies. So, what does this protocol look like? Well, before a baby even gets their very first dose, 4 things have to happen, no exceptions. A full medical history and exam, checking their baseline heart rate and blood pressure, having a long talk with the parents about all the risks and benefits, and taking photos so you can track how well it's working. Now, because propranolol can affect the heart, some babies need a cardiac checkup first. An ECG is necessary if there are any worries at all about the baby's heart rate or rhythm. And if there are more serious red flags, like signs of heart trouble or if the doctor suspects phase syndrome, then both an ECG and a heart ultrasound, called an echocardiogram, are recommended. What's really fascinating here is just how carefully the dose is managed. The mantra is start low and go slow. This gives the baby's body time to adjust, and it really minimizes the side effects. After that very first dose, and after any time the dose is increased, the baby's heart rate and blood pressure are monitored for a couple of hours. And for the tiniest babies, or those with other health issues, that monitoring is even longer. And listen, this isn't a quick fix. Treatment usually goes on until the baby is about a year old, which gets them past the hemangioma's main growth phase. Then, the medication is slowly tapered off over several weeks. This is a super important step to prevent the blood vessels from suddenly growing back, which is something we call a rebound. Wow, we've covered a ton of ground, so let's zoom out for a second. If you're only going to remember a few things from all this, let's make it these key takeaways. Okay, so here's the bottom line. Most of these hemangiomas are fine and will disappear on their own. But the moment you see complications or those clinical red flags, it is time to act. Propranolol is the #1 treatment for these serious cases, but, and this is a big but, because it's such a potent drug, it has to be used with a strict safety protocol, every single time. And that leaves us with one last really interesting question to think about. For a condition that usually just goes away by itself, how has our understanding of risk so completely flipped the standard of care, from let's wait and see to let's intervene early? It's just a powerful reminder of how learning to spot the risks can totally change modern medicine.
Thanks for watching. Hit like, share, and subscribe to the Dermatology Studio. Ask your skin queries in the comments below.